about the questions, and 2 minutes, 30 seconds for introduction, 2 minutes, 30 seconds for the actual question pertaining to the district attorney, and then we give you 5 minutes to cover whatever you want. That's your 5 minutes. And we'll go ahead and give you the 2 minutes and 30 seconds for introduction starting now.
Great, and I wanted to say good evening to White Pine County, whoever's listening out there. And I'm going to get in a lot of trouble if I get home and don't say hi to my daughter Grace and my son John and my other daughter Whitney and my beautiful wife Rebecca, who just made me chocolate chip cookies I've been made aware of. So now with that over with, I'd like to say my name is Mike Wheable. I'm the Senior Deputy District Attorney here in White Pine County, and I'm running for the office of District Attorney for the following reasons. I do believe in a professional public office which can withstand the strict scrutiny and expectations of this community. I will put to practice my decade of management experience and several years as a prosecutor to reform the office in the following ways. First, currently there are no internal policies or procedures, only outdated and flawed traditions that have been have been passed down for decades. We need policies with checks and balances. These policies need to be written, and employees need to be held accountable to these policies. Currently, there are no ethics policies adopted specifically for our office. I will write and implement those policies. See, what happens is I believe in a professional office, and no professional office can be ran without these policies. So, the qualities that I believe White Pine County wants most as a candidate for any of these offices that you guys are talking about tonight is capability, energy, intelligence, and honesty. You want one who will take whatever experience they may have and apply their own skills and gifts. Capability is the application of experience anyway. There can be no doubt that I am the more capable candidate between the two of us running for district attorney. I learned the value of professionalism when I was talking about the U.S. Attorney's Office and saw how a professional approach to case management, organization, employee supervision made for a better case and outcomes in the courtroom. The bottom line is I'm not only the more experienced and qualified prosecutor, I also have the energy, the work ethic, capability to manage the office of district attorney correctly, which will ultimately rebuild trust that our public offices have lost in this community. So, I think that's a good enough intro. That's what I'm all about, is getting those policies and professionalizing our offices here.
Boom, boom. Yeah. right to it. Okay. All right, Mike, as you've heard earlier, we were talking the one question for each candidate pertaining to their political office. And our question for you, if you were elected as district attorney, do you feel as a district attorney, if you were elected, that you could be impartial in all cases, regardless of political party or agendas?
Absolutely, and that is a really important issue coming up right now. You heard about Governor Rick Perry down in Texas, who's being prosecuted essentially by the opposite political party. Here in White Pine County, we don't see a lot of that because I don't know, when we're prosecuting a case, I don't know what someone's political affiliations are, of course. But I think the sharper point that needs to be made is that we look at all the cases on a fact-by-fact basis, and we consider each defendant and what their personal issues are and how we can both protect the community from them and also try to help them so that they don't come back in the community and reoffend. So what's most important to me is, and what's most obvious, is we're not going to be liked for prosecuting people. I found out today I lost votes because I prosecuted someone. And guess what? That's just the nature of the beast. And what's going to happen is this is a political office. It's 4 years in term. And if I have to prosecute someone who's an established resident of this community because it's the right thing to do because the evidence shows that they're guilty, and that means I won't get reelected, so be it. We have to understand we're here to serve. And I believe that honestly.
Okay, you're knocked out on that one. This guy's right to the point. This is getting tough for me here. Okay, now, you know what? Now, what I want you to do, this is your 5 minutes, okay?
Sure.
You can talk about whatever you want. You can talk about, what your goals are if one's elected. What you see are some discrepancies. You can talk about what you love about White Pine County. You can talk about, it's your 5 minutes, and that mic starts right now.
Great, and I do have some things I'd like to cover real quick, but I want to tell more about myself, if I can. Just a lot of people to say, who is this young attorney? Why should we vote for a younger guy? And so let me tell you a little bit more about my personal life, a little bit more about my character, my family, what I'm all about, and then I'm going to talk more about what I want to do with the office. First of all, I am married. I said hello to my 4 kids. I know they're all gathered around the radio like this is 1933, and I love it. I'm a big supporter of it. This is a huge asset in our community, so I appreciate being here. I'm not just kissing everyone's butt. Karen's out there pumping her fist, but I truly believe that. And what I want for my children, what I want for our community, it's the same. I want a safe community with good schools, with possibilities for every child here to progress, do well in school, and be safe. I want to keep the kids away from the drugs. I want to keep our homes and our property safe. And so, I believe that the effort I put into the office, that I have been putting in the office over the last 3 years in the district attorney's office, substantially benefits our community. Dan Watts was here earlier talking about how crime has been significantly low over the last 2.5 years. I'd like to think that corresponds to me being in office into the office as a deputy for the last 2.5 years. Certainly, attacking the drug issue also has the corresponding benefit of protecting our property and our violent crimes. So I am involved in the Mule Deer Foundation locally. I'm involved in Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. I'm in Rotary. I'm also a Scoutmaster. I'm a bow hunter. I've harvested 3 large game animals over the last 2 seasons. I was unsuccessful this last season, but I got to see the top of the Ruby Mountains and spent a whole week up there. This county is just absolutely beautiful, and we need to preserve the way of life we have here. That includes Second Amendment rights. I'm a big supporter of Second Amendment rights. I do carry a concealed weapon. I encourage all members of our community to seek out. That's a responsible response to protecting our own families and make our community safer. And I know Dan Watts feels that way, and I know Penny feels that way as well. So what I'd like to talk about now is let me just read a little bit. I know reading on the air probably sounds like garbage, but there's a couple things I don't want to forget. So let me pull that up. The office of district attorney will be mismanaged no longer if I'm elected. Currently, like I said, there was no policies. We have issues with discovering evidence, and we need to have checks and balances to make sure that we don't lose cases, that we don't miss deadlines, that we effectively and efficiently prosecute these cases. Okay, so more capable, more experienced prosecutor. I'm running for the office of district attorney because I am more capable and organized to manage the caseload. I have more real-life experience to make tough decisions and more invested in this community to make it a safer place to raise my family and yours, as I've said. I have the work ethic and energy to meet the demands of a busy and complex office. I can honestly say what my opponent cannot about experience. As a prosecutor since October 2009, I've prosecuted well over 100 felony cases, thousands of misdemeanor cases, written several dozen opposition motions, written dozens of post-conviction motions. I mean, I'm extremely busy. I just did another jury trial this week and got 2 guilty verdicts. What you have to understand is, since I've been in office here for the last 2.5 years, I have been the one conducting the criminal jury trials and getting the guilty verdicts. Dan Watts earlier talked about the drug assets that have been seized from drug dealers. I was the one who forfeited those assets, over $75,000 that went right back to the sheriff's office so they can buy more vehicles to fight the drug crimes in our community. Trust. Government is that necessary evil, and in this community we see it. We hear about it talking around the streets that there's little trust in our public offices. So what kind of people do we want to elect to take those offices? We have to believe that we're looking for the most honest, the most capable people there. And it doesn't matter if you have all this experience if you're not applying it. Okay? And so, with that said, you asked me earlier about the prosecution equally across, that'll be fair administration of justice. And, we don't play favorites. And that's just the way it is. People who support me today in my campaign, I might be prosecuting them next month, and they're on notice. So, with that, I think case management and training to make a more professional office is exactly what we need in this community in every single one of our public offices, because it is the community's office, and we want to be accountable and accessible to them. So thanks a lot.
Okay. That is Mike Wheable. He's running for district attorney for here at White Pine County. And Mike, thanks for coming in.
Sure,
and,
thanks for having me.
If I'm arrested, I'll make sure I'm going to go to court in another county. I can tell you that right now. I'm already scared. I'm going to go to church now, too, I think. And thanks, Mike, for coming in, and have a good evening.
Thank you very much.